Hello everyone, today I will be taking a look at the brand new World of Halo 3.75 inch scale 3 pack featuring 2 Grunt Conscripts and an Elite Warlord. The Grunt Conscript is something we've already seen before in the regular main line. This is just a simple repackage, but this is also my first time looking at it. Honestly, it is pretty nice looking. There isn't too much to talk about. There's a fair amount of paint applications. My main complaint about the paint applications would probably be the eyes. They're just flat white. There's a lot of nice sculpted detail going around, and surprisingly, there's a lot of good articulation too. First, for articulation, we have the head. It goes down that far, which is quite a lot. It can go up that far, and it goes to side that far. There's a ratchet swivel joint for the shoulder, but it's a little limited by the shoulder pad. But it can go up that far, which is okay. There is a full 360 spin thanks to the swivel ratchet joint in the arm. It can flatten itself out that far. The bend is kind of weird. It can't bend up all the way. It can only do like a 90-degree bend, but that's okay. The hands are pretty cool. Let's take the needler off for a second. The hand can move up and down, as well as a full 360 thanks to the swivel joint inside its wrist. The articulation doesn't end there. It has a ball joint swivel inside its torso, another ball joint for its hips, and a swivel joint inside the thigh. The knee can bend that much thanks to the double joints inside. And the ankle joint has a swivel ratchet joint that allows for extra posability, which is really nice, especially on a grunt, of all things. If you own some Mega Constructs plasma grenades, you can attach them to the hands for that trailer look we got to saw in the Infinite gameplay reveal. Overall, the grunt figure is pretty nice, but since it's quite top heavy due to it being mostly solid, it has a few stability issues. Up next, we have the Elite Warlord. Now, this is a pretty anticipated for this 3-pack. However, I am aware of the current new announced release, the Banished Ghost, that's also going to come with an Elite Warlord. Overall, this figure is pretty nice. My worries mainly stemmed from the Jega 2-pack with the Mark V Spartan. A lot of my friends got that and they were disappointed with the quality control on Jega, but this figure, surprisingly, doesn't have that many problems and is really solid, actually. However, my main gripe with this figure definitely has to be the head. At first glance, the head looks pretty normal and pretty nice, actually. However, at closer look, if you look at the mandible guards, they're actually not the same length. That's right. I guess they couldn't inject it off plastic for some reason. Also, if you look at the helmet in the back, there's a little chip there too. Keep in mind that I just unboxed this today. I haven't really done much. As you can see with the shoulders, there's a lot of warpage there for some reason. Also, I had to paint the mandibles because they were the same color as the armor plastic. Now onto the articulation. So I can go up and down that far. There's very limited side to side. There's a double ball joint in the head, but because of its sculpt, can't really move that much. That's fine. The shoulder articulation is pretty average. It can do a full 360 and it can go up that far. Well, it's limited by the shoulder pad, but that's fine. The arm can't go up that far. It can almost make a 90-degree bend, but not necessarily clear it. The arm doesn't really go back that far either, which is kind of a shame. However, the wrist is on a swivel ratchet joint and it can do a full 360 and you can move the wrist in and out. One thing worth noting with this figure is that the ball joint in the torso is really tight, so it doesn't give much room for articulation. The legs on this figure are connected to the crotch via a ball joint, which allows for it to get some decent forward and backwards movement. It's also worth noting that there's a lot of friction going on in that ball joint socket. The lower leg sections are on swivel ratchet joints, and they can move forward that far and back that far. The utmost lower leg sections can move back that far, and there's limited ankle movement, but it's still there. If you'd like, you could take one of the Grunt Needlers and try to fit it inside the Elite's grip, although it is a kind of a pain to get it inside its hands. But how do the Covenant weapons fit in Chief's hands, you may ask? Well, not too poorly, but it is a tight fit. The Needlers are basically the complete opposite. They kind of just sit there, but they can easily fall out. Overall, these figures are quite nice, actually. I don't have too many complaints about them. The main problem I have with this line is probably the quality control, because I picked up my first figure, which was the Master Chief figure, the 3.75-inch one, and I tried to move the arm, but it just completely snapped off. I was furious because it took me like 2 hours to find the thing, and then, you come home, you open up, and it just breaks, which is really upsetting. But I contacted Jazwares, and their customer support is really fast. However, I'm still yet to receive my replacement Master Chief. I know a lot of people are going to probably compare this line to the only other 3.75-inch line, which is the Star Wars one, the Vintage Collection. And I think they have pretty good reason to compare it to, since TVC costs, like, here in Canada at least, $20 after tax. That's a lot compared to what it was before. Now, I know it's adjusted to inflation and whatnot, but if you really think about it, these figures, single carded ones, cost around $15 after tax Canadian. That's a pretty good deal, and they're really detailed. The only problem they're facing probably is paint applications and their overall quality right now, but I'm sure that in the future the quality is only going to get better, since they've been listening to fans and their outcry, which is really respectable. So I really recommend this set. I honestly would have probably preferred an Elite Minor or something, because that's what you would usually see with grunts running around. You'd have like several grunts and then an Elite Minor, kind of their captain or whatever. But for $40, this is a pretty good set. I honestly would have preferred to see an Elite Minor or something, because that's what you would usually see as captains for these small squads of grunts, but I digress. It is still a nice set in the end of the day, and I hope Jazwares continues to pump out more figures with maybe better quality control. If you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe.